Good morning. We're here today with Chris Brooksbank. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Can you please introduce yourself, and also can you please introduce us to CB Business Recovery?
Absolutely. So my name's Chris Brooksbank. I am a licensed insolvency practitioner, sole director of CB Business Recovery Limited. And I have been an insolvency practitioner now since 2009, although I've been in the profession since 1991. Working at some boutique insolvency practices and also national practice. Started this practice back in 2020. Which kind of coincided with obviously the upshot of the COVID pandemic, and we effectively provide a service primarily insolvency. We do look at some more informal turnaround aspects, primarily to the West Yorkshire business community, but also do go further afield insofar as the whole north of England. And some London cases as well, but primarily we are serving the Yorkshire business community. Really, from a point of view of contacts from accountants to solicitors and asset-based lenders.
Fantastic. Well, can you please take us through a successful case study?
A successful case study. I mean, the key to getting a successful case and what we try and preach to our work providers is, prevention is better than cure, and he's trying to educate those work providers that if they have clients with financial difficulties, is to come and see somebody like myself as early as possible. It's very, very difficult to save a company at a minute to midnight when you have a winding up petition, bailiffs knocking on the door, general creditor pressure. So for us, it's getting in there as early as possible and identifying that primarily you have a business that's worth saving, which then ultimately we would look at talking to the directors, talking to various stakeholders insofar as what is there to preserve. And we have a duty as an insolvency practitioner is obviously to get the best price for the assets and trying to market that business, whether that is via a management buyout or whether it's by way of third party investments and somebody else coming in there. So we are very, very proud of a number of businesses that we have salvaged, where we're looking over the last probably 3 or 4 months, where we've saved a civil engineering firm 20 jobs just prior to Christmas, that has preserved contracts out there, that's preserving jobs, and ultimately is then bringing a return to creditors, which we did very, very late in the day prior to Christmas, on a civil engineers over in Altrincham. And in addition, I know just of late we've dealt with a traffic management company, again, where we've saved 25 jobs, sold to a third party, and moved that business forward. So we're very, very proud insofar as being able to offer this service. But the key to it is getting in there as early as possible, because unfortunately we're not magicians, but we can only deal with the tools that we've actually got. So the key points are really is getting solicitors, accountants, asset-based lenders out there to get us in early. May well be that there isn't a formal insolvency process there to be done. We've got that vehicle if needs be, but he's getting in there because times are still tough out there and are going to be tough for some time.
I completely agree with that, unfortunately. And so, based on what you just mentioned, where do you see CB Business Recovery in the next couple of years?
I think the next couple of years, we're still seeing a hangover from COVID. Bounce back loans, CBILS loans. I'm still seeing bounce back loans, which we're 4 years down the line are still there £50,000 maximum. Is that people are still being on holidays or still paying interest payments solely. So these these COVID debts are still hanging over businesses and are going to be hanging over businesses for some time. We live in a very, very uncertain world at the moment, whether that is via what's happening still in Ukraine, in Gaza. You've got issues over Red Sea cargo still trying to filter through, which is pushing prices up, which is giving delays. Although inflation seems to have be tailing off, and we seem to have interest rates that are now going to start coming down, businesses, and especially at my end where I'm dealing with a lot of the small owner businesses, they've still got a number of issues here which are very, very difficult for them to try and trade through. We have seen so if I go back the last 12 months, we've seen record insolvency appointments, and that's not just through our practice, which is through the profession in general. So I can still see utilities are still high. So all these things are creating that perfect storm, whereby you've got two elections coming up insofar as the UK election, you've got the uncertainty certainly in what's going to happen over in America. So when you bring all this together, it's a very, very rocky road that is still going to be out there for businesses, which comes back to my point insofar as people seeking advice as early as possible. We will salvage what we can insofar as, but there are going to be those that fall by the wayside. UK legislation does allow, obviously, for new startups out of liquidated companies, and we still see a lot of that where people will start again. But the key has got to be that they've got to learn the lessons of what's happened in the past. So I can still see for the next couple of years that insolvencies are going to remain at a high level. And the other issue you've got as well is HMRC. What happened during COVID was that winding up petitions were effectively placed on hold, that people couldn't bring those insolvency proceedings. What you're seeing now is a far more robust HMRC. So again, the upshot of that is you've got a lot more winding up petitions are being issued, which then again puts companies under pressure insofar as how they're going to get out of that. Can they put a time to pay agreement forward to HMRC that the HMRC are going to be happy with? So again, all these issues here are going to create a very, very uncertain period over the next 2 years.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Chris. If you'd like to know more about how CB Business Recovery could potentially assist you and or your business, please contact directly Chris at Brooks Bank. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you very much.